We are live. It is 2:15 Central Standard Time, United States, 8:15 BST in the United Kingdom. It is the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe.
Hey.
Coming to you live this 4th day of August. It's already August, folks. So much for quick year. And then fun fact, anytime you ever mention that to somebody, do they ever say, "No, man, this year has been slow as hell"? Like, no. Nobody ever says that. It's like it's time fly. It's always if it's late in the day, or if it's on a Thursday, or if it's already October. Nobody ever, when you say that, nobody ever says, "No, man, it hasn't been going quick this year. It's been actually
the only person who might say that is someone who's pregnant, maybe."
Yeah, probably. So the caveat: don't ask that question to a pregnant person. Then they'd probably get a different answer. But anyway, so if you're watching the stream, congratulations, you're awesome. If you're not, you're still awesome. You're just not watching the stream. Well, that's okay. We'll let it slide this time, but maybe next time you should. We have Manos, fresh off his adventures, and he went to a couple of places recently. Came to the United States, and he survived. But he only went to San Diego, which is pretty safe. He didn't go to like Detroit or St. Louis. So that's okay. And it's probably why they don't do things like that in where I live, because it's not exactly the safest place on earth. But it's cool. So anyway, how you doing, man? Good seeing you again. It's been a while since we had John. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you guys. Always a pleasure to be part of the show. So it has been amazing. Like, it started with OnePlus event in Milan, which it came out of nowhere because I've only got the OnePlus phone. When was it, Joe? Was it back in May?
Good question. I can't remember.
I think it was around April or May, somewhere along those days.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, it was not. And I was on the community app for about 2 months, and I started applying massively, to a lot of competitions that they were doing. And like a month or so later, I received messages saying, "Hey, we picked you up for this." And I was like, "What? Is this for real?" At the beginning, I thought it was a scam. So I think I messaged the group on Telegram and say, "This sounds fishy, right?" But after, cross-reference and everything, it was legit and all that. And then I started planning. The first actually event, it was the filming in London, which was supposed to be the sneak peek for the Nord 4, the Nord 4 and the OnePlus Pad 2, which was it was an experience for sure. It was my first time, being part of a commercial and
so quickly, Manos,
and all that.
If someone wants to see your acting skills, where will they find that?
On OnePlus's website, it's somewhere there.
On their website.
On their YouTube channel, actually. That's cool. But I think it should be on the website as well. On the community app, I've seen it too. It's in places. It's out there. So long story short, I was invited to the event in Milan. It was for the launch, and then for the OEF, the Open Ears Forum, where it has to do with new products, but also new software that has to do with the Android 15. But also very specific stuff that they're only relevant for OnePlus. And they showed us a lot of things, which actually I need to double think before I open my mouth, because I have signed an NDA. I don't want to be sued.
Yes, you don't want that. Just in case OnePlus listen to us, that they may well do.
You never know. You never know,
mate. You never know.
So the first day was all about new software stuff, which they were very cool. There were a lot of inspiration drawn from Google, I would say, without really being able to tell you which one specifically.
Did it excite you? Does it make you excited for the future of OnePlus?
Yes and no.
Yes and no.
I will tell you why yes, and I'll tell you why no. First, I will tell you why it doesn't. Without being able to give much information, the things that we were all shown, they really reminded us of other brands. It really didn't feel like OnePlus. And the feedback that we gave back to them was like, you have been known for a specific brand identity with whatever that entails. So you need to, continue building up on that instead of trying to, offer something completely new, which doesn't feel like you. And that can be anything, from I don't know, icons to colors to themes. It can be so many things. And they seem to really listen. They really to listen, guys. They were taking notes for every single thing that we were saying, and they were asking more and more questions. So that was great. I really felt heard. On my table, because we were split in groups. I was the one who was talking the most. Shocker, I know, right? Yeah, it was going very well the first day. I really felt they listened to our feedback. And then on
What's
the
good about
second,
that, though, Manos? That mirrors my feelings about OnePlus and the OnePlus community. So that's good to hear. That's really good to hear.
It was great. I've never seen another brand do something like this, really paying attention to what we have to say and taking so many notes. So that was impressive. And then the second day, it was all about the future products, specifically the successor. I would say, without them confirming, but it was rather obvious that it had to do with the successor of the OnePlus 12. And it was heavily focused on features and capabilities of the upcoming stuff, which, to be honest, some of the things they showed us, I was just thrilled because I got to play with something. It was not a full product. It was just part of it. And I don't know, when I saw the samples of what it can do, I was like, wow, this is just great. I cannot wait for this thing to be, in the market. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely want to be buying this, the moment it's out. It was that good.
That was your thoughts before you had that last phone call you had. We might get into that later, but
yeah.
So
what else? And they also showed us, other products like that have to do with audio and some other stuff. I don't think I can go into more details about this because I think maybe I will be walking in thin ice there.
You don't want to get in trouble, mate. We don't want anyone to get in trouble on air.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us off air. No, Jake.
Yeah, but the thing is, definitely, it was. I don't know. I felt excited, and I felt excited, especially about the photography-related aspect of the new things. So I don't know. You're gonna be pleased when the new generation of OnePlus products come out. You're gonna be happy.
I think a lot of us here are fans of OnePlus. I know Barry likes OnePlus. So yeah, it's good to hear, mate. It's good to hear. And that was Milan, wasn't it?
That was Milan. Yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun. It was very hot. It was 37 degrees. Especially we had a photo walk on the last day, and it was 37 degrees. And they gave us black T-shirts, and I was sweating. We were all sweating, like I don't know, horses or pigs, wherever you want to. Whatever is the right expression. And imagine they took us somewhere for dinner and the electricity just went out. There was no AC, no fans. There was just literally nothing. And we were just sweating like crazy.
I feel like it was a test, Manos, to see if you passed.
Yeah. Are you going to be able to survive the current conditions? Although I don't think they have. I don't think Europeans are really big into the air conditioning for the most part. I still have not figured that out. It's been around since like the 30s, and I guess nobody in Europe gets the memo about that. You should try it. It's pretty cool.
I don't know. In Greece, it's very popular.
I see you did there, Sam. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's pretty. Yeah, I mean, everybody complains about us, but yeah, the AC is pretty legit, man. I said, people, I don't understand. And my wife went to Germany, and it's not a thing there either. They said that they have a lot of. And I was like, really? But what do you? I mean, they have summer, right? They have like, it gets hot. And they're like, yeah, you just deal with it. I'm like,
I think it's in Greece. How was it in Greece, though, Manos? Greece, they have aircon.
Greece, we do have. Like in my house, I grew up. We had AC because in the summer it goes 40 degrees. It can be very humid. You will have between July and August and end of June even easily 30 plus, 30 to 35, 40s. It's hot. You need it.
Yeah, I just, like I said, in the places that they don't have it just makes me kind of like, oh man.
UK, the only place that you will find AC is the supermarket,
shopping centers,
the fridge aisle or something.
So, but you have it in your house, right, Joe? You have an AC unit?
No. No.
Me neither. And yeah, just a fun.
Ugh. Why? Why? That. So anytime I hear about people in the UK complaining about the heat, I go, dude, air conditioning. They make
It's
them.
expensive.
Oh, who cares? So is everything else.
Yeah.
And the thing is,
tell me about it.
It's like, Jesus Christ. If you tell me that's what it is, it's just like, well, we like to go. It's no, everything's expensive, and it's electricity. And they're like, well, we don't have enough electricity. I said, build better infrastructure. You're on an island. It's not huge. You can work it out. There's this thing called technology. You should give it a try. You don't even need a space program. It's cool. Yeah, figure it out. Like, you can use all sorts of stuff. You can use, solar panels. You can do wind. You can do a nuclear plant. I know that's not a big thing now because they're all a little weird about the Chernobyl thing, but that was like 45 years ago, and the Soviets built it, which means it wasn't very good probably to begin with. It's fine. No, you should read a book. There's a really good book.
Read a book. I don't read books.
It talks about the disaster. It's called Midnight in Chernobyl. It's really fascinating, like, about all the things that went on, and like not only just the incident, but the stuff predating it. It was pretty like.
Did you watch the TV show Chernobyl?
It was really good. It's a very good one.
It's really good. But yeah, this book is a lot more of a like minute to minute, and then they talk about like the design not just being generally very good and what it took, and then the fact that at that point in the Soviet Union, they were running out of money. It was really hard, and like I said, their infrastructure was crumbling, and it's a really fascinating book on that. And then obviously the disaster. So I don't know. It's just I just think it's hilarious. And now is it most people in the UK? Is it not available? I guess that's my question. Can you not get it if you wanted it, or is it just so cost prohibitive? It's just
I'm sure you can. It's just a thing. We don't have, I don't know, hot days that many times of the year. Like even when it's hot, it's gonna last like a week tops, and then it's gonna be a long break, and then a couple of days again of heat. So we would rather suck it up, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. The biggest issue is that the houses in the UK, they're built to retain heat.
Yep.
So that's why we suffer. If you go outside, you're fine. If you go in the garden, you're fine. It's just inside the house. It's going to take many, many hours for it to cool down.
I'd say the best place to go, in your car. That's got AC.
Yeah. Really? Funny in the UK, it's like we don't have it in our houses where you're there most of the time, but it's in your car when you're only in it.
It's in your car.
And then nobody in the UK has a car because everybody takes bus because you guys have, you only have the one vehicle, right? So, but it's I don't know. So that's a small little segue. It has nothing to do with tech. I was just kind of thought it was funny. So
it kind of does. Yeah,
it's kind of like it's technology, but the fact that it's technology that's been around for a while. You should try to figure it out. But it's okay. As long as you guys are okay with it, I'd be a little bit. Yeah, I'd skip it.
Yes, can you excuse me for a second? I hear my dog is going a little bit crazy. I'm just gonna go and make sure that he's not doing anything naughty.
Right. So so that's good. So that's a Milan trip. That's kind of nice, I mean, that kind of reminds me of when you got, when you went on your trip to Hawaii. I mean, it's like, I guess the only thing that sucks, and it seems like, is you don't get a lot of time, right, to do a lot of sightseeing or anything. You're kind of like,
no, you don't tend to, because you're there for the brand, right? So you need to do stuff for the brand and be present for the brand. So with Manos' thing, that was something he applied through the OnePlus community.
There he is. There we go.
Yeah.
So this little man here is actually on Instagram, by the way. Do you want to plug his Insta? Manos.
Sorry, whose Instagram?
The little man you're holding.
Oh, Ernie. Yeah.
Ernie,
sorry. Sorry, I was just so fixated on him that I didn't realize what you were saying. Give me a second.
Yeah, he's got his own Insta. He's probably got more followers than both me and Sam put together.
Nah, I doubt. My girlfriend that's the one.
That's not hard. I'm not on. I don't even know how many followers I have on Instagram.
I hide it out because it was my girl who was managing the account, but she got not tired or busy. I would say discouraged by how much effort it needs, and disappointed that she doesn't get many followers.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, she's like, "Nah, I'm not growing fast enough." He's like, "Fuck this." Yeah, she only has 79 followers.
Oh, I got her beat. I got 237. That's okay.
Go on,
by the way, sorry for my French.
237. Yeah.
Mine's gone down recently.
Which is hilarious because I very rarely
1,154.
Yeah, so I very rarely post on there, so that's probably not to be unexpected that it only has less than 250.
I don't either, to be fair. That's why I'm losing followers.
I started posting more, to be fair, but I don't really see growth on Instagram. I have 325 followers.
Mate. Yeah, it's hard to grow on Insta now. They don't really support smaller channels. Pages, whatever you want to call
it. Yeah, but on X or Twitter or Twix, however you want to call it.
Yeah, Twix.
I'm starting to see actually some growth. At the moment, I'm 694. Oh, I was 695 before. And I think before the events, I was somewhere around 600, in the low 600s. So almost 100 people within a month or two. So okay, not bad for someone who just posts pictures.
Yeah, I've got 563. I thought I had less than that.
Hey, but you don't post like a lunatic like I am. So
I don't post ever.
Yeah. In my case, I try to post at least once a day. To be fair.
Yeah,
but I don't do it. I don't do it because I want to get followers. To be honest with you, I'm just really enjoying the process.
Yeah.
Of taking pictures and editing them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, mate. I'm enjoying watching you share all your photos.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing how your editing's developed over time as well. It's changed, and your shots as well. It's I love watching it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to do new stuff, but also going back to my, I wouldn't say roots because it's not like I've been doing this for that many years. It's only been almost 2. But yeah, I started just taking pictures of random stuff initially, and then I started finding my call with street photography at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I would say just I'm loving that. I'm loving that.
Mm-hmm.
The only place that I'm having some, I wouldn't say backlash, but some criticism is the OnePlus community, because they're like, oh, how can you take pictures of strangers? Do they give you permission? And this is not really okay.
That's a street photography thing with all different people, though, I'd say, in different, not just the OnePlus community. There's some people that just don't like street photography, and for that reason, but it is what it is, mate.
The thing is, I'm trying to be respectful in the things that I'm capturing. It's like I will try to find someone who's like picking up their nose, or they're crying, or I don't know, anything embarrassing or very private. It's just someone
try and get their best side, don't you?
Yeah, I'm trying to take their best side always, and I try, if they're, I don't know, sitting in a nice way, or they're dressed nicely, or they're laughing. I always try to find someone who's laughing. But unfortunately, what I've realized nowadays, that people don't really laugh or smile. They always seem to be lost in their thoughts. It's a realization, the more you just do people watching, because this is what I call it, people watching with street photography. But occasionally
Manos got requests, people. Can we smile and laugh more? Yeah.
No, you mean in general? Yeah, but for photography, no, because then it stops being candid.
Right. I mean, and also too, probably a lot of people are on their phones, or
that's true. There are a lot of people. Majority, I would say, they're on their phones whenever I'm out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're in groups, they will be on their phones.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. So, I mean, I can understand that if you're like, if you're checking a call, like if you're taking a call, you're waiting for something, or you're responding to somebody's asking you a quick message or whatever. But I mean, I see people just like doom scrolling, and they're groups of people, and they're sitting there doom scrolling on stuff, and you're just like, why did you even go outside to be around your friends if you're just going to sit there and everybody's looking at the top of their foreheads, right? And it's like, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Unless they're sharing that, maybe they're doing that, right? There's, hey, I saw this, but then you can just share it, right? But then that's tacky, because then they're sitting right next to you. Why would you just turn your phone? Like, look,
I think they're just not present. They always try to be somewhere else, like the next stop, the next checkpoint, whatever that may be. It could be the same day or another, following day or something. They just don't live in the present. This is what I feel that a lot of people are doing. But there have been many times that I've captured very nice moments of people. especially I would say university students when they just chill the Radcliffe camera in Oxford. And they just sit there and they talk. And then I have seen genuine social interactions where you would see smiles or all sorts of facial expressions. And that's actually very beautiful to see. And this is something that I enjoy capturing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I mean, people have to understand that you're in a public. I mean, honestly, if I were walking around in street photography taking a picture of me doing something, as long as I wasn't doing anything, like I said, and even if I was, I'd be like, well, I mean, I'm in a public place. There's not much I can do. I mean, I'm walking down the street. You don't have an expectation of privacy if you're just walking down a street, right? You just don't. You could be on because a lot of cities, and maybe this is more prevalent in the UK or in Europe, but there are police cameras everywhere, right?
Yeah, and the UK is everywhere. I don't think that any other country has more cameras than we do, to be fair.
Right. So there's cameras in intersections for vehicle traffic. There's cameras for police, traffic, watching people just to make sure. There's people have surveillance cameras, and their businesses, right, to see if they're. I mean, you're always on. It's like, again, there's not a lot of privacy expectation in public. Now, does that mean, I don't know. I guess my thing is if I would happen to be on a OnePlus's website or if I'm scrolling through and I just happen to see that somebody took a picture of me, I'm like, first of all, why would anybody take a picture of me doing anything? It's just kind of funny. And the second thing is, I mean, as long as if I'm in a public place, if I'm not doing anything that is, there's not much I can really do. I might not like it. I mean, I guess I could ask them to take the photograph down because it's of me, but I'm like, whatever, man. It's like, what's the chances of that happening? It's probably very, very small. I mean, it's again, I can understand if you're inside of a building or if you're inside of a place like a restaurant and people are trying to, then you start to kind of get, I think, a little bit more.
Yeah, you don't have a private through glass windows.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't really, I mean, it's, I guess to me, if you're out just walking about, or if you're near a fountain or you're in a park, or if you're two students are studying in a quad or whatever, I think I don't personally have a problem with that, but I know a lot of people do just because you don't have their permission to take their picture. I'm like, well, I'm not doing it for anything other than just capturing the moment, right? It's just a photography.
Exactly. It's awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's awkward.
Yeah. And in many cases, I take the picture, and if I really like it, I'm going to edit it on the spot. If I don't, most likely I will delete it when it comes to people. And, when I will edit, I will go to the people and say, hey, I just noticed this moment happening for you. I really like the way you look. In this moment, not you as a person, whatever. For me, they all just become pieces of art. If I am to call it like this, I don't know if it sounds very smug or whatever. It's just the way I perceive it. And I was like, I really like the way you looked, in this situation. This is my edit of your picture. You can have it, or if you don't like it, I can delete it, and that's it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I only had an issue with one person once. No one has ever told me, oh, please delete it, or what are you doing, you creep, or, whatever. Right. People have been, very accommodating.
That's not too bad then.
No, I think so. And like I said, I think that's where, at the end of the day, it's like the people who are getting upset about it. I mean, your experience has been that most people when approached or advised of it have been pretty cool about it. So, and I think that, again, like I said, I just don't think anything can happen anymore without somebody either having a negative comment about it. It just seems like no matter what happened, I mean, and we can talk about it later, but it's just the Olympics and stuff. It's just been a wild kind of, from the opening ceremony to this boxer to then you have the good stuff where you got this guy from Turkey. He just looks like he's just a baller. He's just some dude. He's just some guy. He's like, yeah, I'll just go shoot. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm just going to go out. He's going to put a T-shirt on. He's got his hand in his pocket.
That guy's won quite a few medals in the past.
Yeah, and honestly, and I, as a shooter myself, I'm not a professional shooter. Like I said, I'm not, I wouldn't be good enough to be on an Olympic team or anything, but I routinely shoot my both eyes open. I don't rarely close my eye. I usually shoot because it's just more for situation. That shows you that's a person who shoots with situational awareness, not who's just target shooting, right? So that usually inclines to lead that person's got a military or a law enforcement.
This guy is actually in law enforcement, and he did say that in his work, he needs to be able to use both of his eyes. So It
Well,
makes
yeah,
no
because
sense for him.
yeah, because you're not shooting at. I mean, you have to be, if you're, and soldiers are the same way. You got to be seeing what's going around you, right? Target profiles, right? You have to realize that shooting at a target in a real life setting, you'd be shooting in a situation where there may be people in the background, there may be stuff going on. You have to be aware that, okay, I'm shooting at this guy, but then there's his buddy over there who's not liking me shooting at him, so he's going to shoot at me, right? So you have to kind of be aware of it. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, I could just tell you that typically indicates a person who has that kind of a background. They shoot like that. And so that's why I was just like, okay, yeah, it looks cool. I just think it's funny because, and he puts his hand in his pocket because he says it gives him stability. I had never shot with my hand in my pocket before. But
it's not about stability. I was reading into it. It's also something cultural.
Yeah,
I think this is how it was. They were trained, or how it's done. I guess.
Yeah. So I just think it's great. So, but everybody's got comments and stories and negative, and I don't think they should do this. And it's just crazy. So I wouldn't surprise me down those forums that somebody would probably have an issue with the street photography because whatever, it's fine. It's not you take. Yeah, that's cool.
While we're on the Olympics thing, did you see the I think it was a high jumper. Just pole vault. The guy who he missed out on the medal because he's knocked the thing down.
The bar.
His manhood hit the bar on the way. It'd gone over, and as he's going down, his manhood just hit the bar.
Yeah, well, that sucks. I'm sure that felt pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, it's like, who knows, man? That's crazy.
That's a good way to say you went out of the Olympics, though, isn't it? It goes, this thing.
Right.
If only we all had problems like this,
Yeah. Yeah.
So after your Milan trip, you had another event?
Yes, I had another, which it was super unexpected because I didn't really have to do anything. They approached me. I'm actually writing an article about the whole experience, but I'm gonna give you a sneak peek, I guess, or a summary of the trip. So yeah, it was a Monday morning, and I was, just doing my, everyday job and everything, and then I received a notification from Twitter, and I see Snapdragon. I was like, oh, okay, they probably want, a photo of mine to, feature because this is something that has happened in the past. So, I didn't think much of it. But then he was saying something along the lines of congratulations. And I was like, for what? And I keep reading, and I was like, no way. Like, I was in such disbelief. I was like, this cannot be true. And I was in the living room, and my partner was also working from home that day. And, I started like celebrating as if, I had scored a goal.
Yeah,
I don't know, it just felt surreal because the people who know me, they really know that this is something that I've really been wanting for a very long time. I would say ever since I think I saw Joe going to Hawaii last year. I got jealous, but in the good way, in the productive way. Instead of being bitter or anything, I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna try my hardest. Just post as many photos and participate as much as I can, in the community, and see where that takes me. And it actually worked out. So yeah, they sent me a message and say, we would love to have you in the event, in the Snapdragon Cup in San Diego.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course, yes, I'll make it happen. I'll take days off. Consider me, that I'm coming 100%. Fast forward now to last week. I traveled with British Airways from Heathrow. I was traveling on the same day with Paul.
Geeky stuff.
Yes, geeky stuff. Thank you. I was trying to remember his handle. And we were both upgraded to business class, which was surreal. I've never flew business class in my life. We were very lucky. I slept like a baby or a log, whatever you want to call it, for about 9 hours straight. I just remember ordering lunch. They brought lunch. I had the starter, and then I passed out. I woke up at some point because there was a baby crying, and I was like, they had replaced my meal with the second with the main dish. And I was like, when did this happen? What's going on? And then I just ate that, and I just passed out again, and then I woke up like an hour before landing, so it was very smooth. And then we had a private driver waiting for us. I don't know, I just felt like a superstar. Chad was not lying when he said that they treat you like a king. So there was a private driver with a huge Chevrolet Jeep, or I don't know, SUV, whatever you guys call these massive cars. And yeah, he just drove us to the hotel, which was the Intercontinental San Diego. So it's a 5-star hotel. So yeah, we were really, really pampered, you could say. The guy looked like the hitman, by the way.
Well, that makes sense when you said the Intercontinental.
Yeah,
that's John Wick, isn't it? That's what the hotel's called.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's,
so yeah, they took us there.
Something like that.
Yeah. So he took us there. We checked in. I had an amazing view. I'm not sure if I have posted enough pictures about the hotel and everything, but I'm preparing a big post, so you will eventually see more stuff. And then, we, after a couple of hours, we headed downstairs where they had, the welcome dinner and everything. Greg was there, and then some other ladies from Qualcomm. And they greeted us, with some amazing gifts. One of them being the S24 Ultra, the Ray-Bans, a very nice backpack, a T-shirt. Was it something else? No, this was it. And that was just so exciting, to be able to receive, something, a gift like that. I always felt that these things were reserved for, I don't know, content creators, and I don't know, just I never thought that this would be for me. This is what I'm saying. I never felt that I deserve or I have earned, just because I'm taking pictures, such an
just quickly though, Manos. So would you say you're a photographer, a digital creator? What would you say you are?
At the moment, I have a very heavy focus. I would say 90% at least on photography, because essentially this is all I do. Of course, I keep an eye on phones and tech and everything, but whenever I look, on a phone, the first thing I'm gonna look is, the camera, and then everything else. I can take a hit on battery or displays or other features, as long as I have a good camera, especially. And when I say camera, I mean a good telephoto. This is what matters to me the most. And this is why I feel OnePlus.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And this is why OnePlus has been so good to me, and I think it really helped me, have the foot, I would say, in for those events. Even though Snapdragon, I think they noticed me because of the S23 Ultra, because this is the very first picture that they featured of mine on their page. And then after that, it's just, everything went well. Like they kept, posting my stuff almost on monthly basis.
Yeah.
But then again, I think I was very lucky because the UK community doesn't have that many members which are active. I would say you can count everyone in 2 hands. So yeah,
they're very engaging as well, the UK team.
They definitely are.
Yeah.
And speaking now of the San Diego event, the Snapdragon Cup, it was from the UK. It was just me and Paul.
Paul, yeah.
And there was one more girl who is Chinese, but she actually lives in Manchester.
Okay.
And she's a content creator, which, to be honest, everyone in the event was a content creator. Jacqueline was there, nothing but tech.
Yeah.
There were some people that I've never seen in my life or never heard of them before this event, but they were all content creators. Every single one.
Different lifestyle content creators.
Exactly. There was this guy who just covers games. He does streaming. He actually has 1.5 million followers on Instagram alone.
Wow,
I don't know
massive.
in other platforms how big his following is. There was another guy, very cool guy from Korea, who has 500,000 followers, and he just covers football games. They pay him to travel the world and just cover football games, and his content is quite engaging and entertaining. There was an amazing guy from Brazil, Igor, who also does football related stuff.
Okay. Football's massive in Brazil.
Some guys from the US that you probably know. I forget his name. I think his name is Miles. He does TikTok mostly. And yeah, he was there. Then there was another guy, Parker, that he was also in Milan. So to be honest with you, we were 20 people, and 19 of them, they were big creators. There was no one with less than 100K followers. I was the only one with not even 1,000. So I felt a little bit like how to say, imposter syndrome, or a fraud.
I get that, but you deserve to be there, mate. You deserve to be there. So don't let them thoughts get into your head, because that I thought the same when I was in Hawaii. But everyone said to me, "No, mate, you deserve to be there." And you know what? They're right. Why not?
Yeah, okay, maybe.
Why not
maybe
you, mate?
they see me, I don't know, as an upcoming person or whatever. Anyway, I was so super grateful. Because all I do is just photography. I don't post TikToks or Reels or YouTube videos or articles or anything. More my content.
What do you do? What hashtag do you use every time you post that?
Yeah, Southern Snapdragon. Yeah, okay.
Exactly,
okay.
Mate. You're supporting the brand.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. And I post a lot. Like when I got the S24 Ultra, I don't know if you saw, like just in 3 days, I have already 1,000 photos taken. Because on my last day, I just took the phone and I left from my room at 10 in the morning, and I came back at around 6 p.m. And all I was doing was taking pictures all day, because I love doing that. I enjoy that. It's not just
question
because
for
I
you,
want
Manos.
to.
Manos, question for you. Have you taken many pictures and videos with the Meta glasses? The Ray-Bans?
Not many, around 30 or 40, I would say, around that amount of
I challenge you to go out and take more with that.
Okay.
During the day, though. During the day, in good light.
yeah. I mean, if you saw my latest post on Twitter, or one of the latest ones, I think third or whatever, it's street photography using the Meta Ray-Bans.
Yeah. It's probably quite challenging, though, right?
It is. You need to go closer, but still I was able to crop, I would say, adequately. Let me share the one that I posted, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course, mate. Because I mean, they are impressive for such a small sensor on a pair of glasses.
For sure. I was so impressed. And the music as well, capabilities of listening to music is also,
love it.
I would say, decent, especially vocals. I wasn't expecting the audio for vocals to be this good.
Yeah.
Okay, it lacks in bass and in soundstage, but it's okay. When the moment you get used to it and you understand what this product really is and what it really can do, it's impressive. For a first gen, I'm like, I applaud them for what it can do. And also for phone calls, I was having a phone call with my mother the other day, and I asked her how, is it clear? Can you hear me okay? Is there any, background noise or anything? And she was like, no, it's perfectly fine. I can hear you.
I've had many calls on mine, and it's so good just picking up the phone and being like, hello?
Yeah.
Although you do look like you're talking to yourself because you're wearing the glasses.
Because people expect to see like headphones or buds or something, and you're not wearing anything. What is this weirdo doing? Yeah.
I get that a lot though anyway, right? So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, especially if you're wearing like headphones or anything like that, or earbuds, and you're having a conversation on the phone. People like I've seen people sitting in a doctor's office and they're just like talking to nobody. And like, oh, they're on their phone. Okay, it's just like it sounds like a pretty interesting conversation. Hopefully, there's somebody on the other end of that conversation. Having one of those. But
or is that the reason they're sitting at the doctor's?
Right, and at the end of the day, it's like I think now it's something that I think we're all starting to kind of get adjusted to, right? That's kind of like a normal thing. Whereas maybe 10 years ago, that'd have been like, wow, it's kind of weird that somebody's thinking, you know what I mean? But now, if you see something like that, you just assume that they're having a conversation or a Zoom call or taking a meeting or whatever.
I don't know. I love them. I would say I like them the most from the things that I got from San Diego. And I also got a Meta Quest 3 because I have a problem and I cannot control myself when it comes to tech. And to be fair, it was cheaper to buy it in the US than to buy it in the UK for about £100 less.
Shout out to Chad, helping him out with that one.
Yes, shout out to Chad. Yes, if it wasn't for Chad. Like, this is a completely different story because originally he placed the order through Best Buy, but the parcel got lost. He told you, okay. So it got lost. And then he had to place it through Amazon. Yeah, it's funny. But in the end, everything worked out
but
just
then
fine.
Best Buy said they were sending a second one out, so you had to get that cancelled.
Yeah, the thing is, he told me keep an eye on maybe it arrives at the hotel so you can have two. I asked the last day, nothing arrived, so I was like, in case
Fingers
it does.
crossed.
Yeah, I was. No. I told him in case anything arrives under my name, please refuse to collect so it can go back. So yeah,
Right.
I don't know. It was just such an adventure. Yeah, and the moment Chad got it, the moment I got it from Amazon, I paid Chad immediately. I was like, I don't want any more trouble with this shit. Just get get your money and let's just call it. Let's just call
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get caught having to pay for two when you don't need to. But I guess you could have sold it, so I guess it wasn't the end of the world. I guess new in box, you probably been all right.
So you unboxed it and used it?
I haven't used it yet because I'm so busy with all the house situation, and I just arrived. Was it yesterday? No, the day before on Friday. And I've been having a very busy schedule, with going back and forth to the new house and trying to clean up the garden here and pack and get ready because we are moving on the 12th of August.
12th, yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things happening. Definitely a lot of things happening. Yeah. What else? So apart from sorry, just read the message.
Teacher's in the chat. Hello, teacher. Don't worry about being late, mate. It's all right. We'll let you off.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say.
The stadium.
The stadium was amazing. It was literally amazing. The atmosphere was great. I didn't expect people from the US to be this, I don't know, into European football. I guess it's because a lot of them are, I don't know, originally from Mexico or
maybe.
I don't want to make assumption. It's just I was surprised that I saw so many people from the US.
So they probably have supporters clubs there though. So like, I know Arsenal's Philly supporters club is massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive to Philly sports club. But yeah, there's sports clubs all over. I think there's probably a decent New York sports club as well for Arsenal. So that Man United without doubt will have the same because they're massive worldwide club.
And speaking of United, I don't know. I'm not sure if no, I think Paul did post this on X. We met actually Ryan Giggs, football legend. He shook our hands. He had a quick chat with us. He was telling me, about games he has played with Greek teams. I don't know. It was an experience. Like, I was like, what? We were kind of starstruck with the whole experience. And then we met the team and the managers, and we took pictures in front of the cup and all that. I don't know. When I was young, I was really the FA Cup. Yeah, when I was young, I was really supporting United and everything, because of Beckham as a kid and everything. But then later on, I stopped following football because Greek football is boring. But yeah, still I felt very lucky to be selected to be able to meet these players from in person and be part of this whole experience.
So and Greg knows I'm an Arsenal fan, so there's no chance he'll ever invite me to anything Man United related, which probably puts me out of most things now. Them being, if people don't know already, Snapdragon is the shirt sponsor, the front of shirt sponsor for Manchester United now, which is massive partnership. Really impressive.
Yeah, and I think in the United States, everybody, I mean, if you're a casual football fan or if European football, you've at least heard of Manchester United. It's kind of like,
of course,
it's just a team that everybody knows, And there's some other teams that there's a lot of, and then people who are, American soccer fans, they know of other leagues too. Like they know of German Bundesliga, and they know of other teams outside of just the Premiership or whatever. But I think a lot of it, honestly, Ted Lasso really kind of helped in the United States because everybody liked the show. So people then were like, oh, okay, like that's a real team, right? No, it's not. But then they go back and watch the little commercials that they did about the Spurs and stuff. So then they kind of like get interested in that, and they kind of see that there's a lot of these teams. But Manchester United has been pretty it's fairly well known even for just casual football fans. And then of course with the MLS growing in the United States, it's becoming, obviously in the U.S. it's still behind the other 4 major sports, the NBA and NHL and baseball and American football is still huge, right? So, but it is gaining popularity, and then like I said, especially in St. Louis now, we have our team. Even this year, they're not doing too well, just injuries and just second year the sophomore slump, right? Second year, and they're kind of not doing well, but it's really gaining popularity. It's just the problem is I think in the United States we have so many other options for sport, like professional sports, right? We don't.
Yeah.
It's just kind of got squeezed out. Like baseball and hockey and football and basketball are kind of like huge. And it's funny how now that's going the other way, right? So even teams and like I know I'm pretty sure in Europe, but especially I know Greece, basketball, NBA basketball, just basketball in general is huge.
Basketball in Greece is very very big. It's bigger than football for sure.
It's huge, and there are a lot of
Eastern Europe as well, like Lithuania, Poland. Yeah, basketball's pretty big.
Yeah, I mean, basketball is kind of like, I think that of all the sports that the United States has ever exported, I think, obviously, I think NBA, and it makes sense because it's the easiest to gain entry, right? It doesn't require a lot of equipment. It's not hard to play. I mean, anybody can kind of conceptualize it. And there's not a lot of serious rules. You can't travel, you can't dribble, you got to make a shot. And here's a 3-point line, right? Here's a foul. It's a lot. The rules are a lot easier for as opposed to a game like cricket. For me, we just can't really figure out what's going on. You have to really kind of pay attention and really study to learn. Baseball can be kind of that way too, but basketball is just huge. And so it's good to see that those sports are kind of catching on and it's going around. But yeah, Man United's huge. Oh, Manos is gone.
So
he pooped.
Manos is going to join us in audio form only in a moment. He's got to go and pick his missus up. But just quickly, while we had Manos on the screen, I had a weird thought. He looks like the professor from what's it called? What's that? I can't remember what the TV show is called now. It's Spanish, but it's on Netflix. Come on, help me out here, Sam.
I don't watch a lot of TV, so
The Heist. The Heist.
Oh, okay. No.
He looks like the professor on The Heist.
Yeah, I have not seen
when he comes back.
Yeah, and
he's got that curly hair, the glasses. Yeah.
And football is cheap, right? You just need a football, and then you don't even need anything. You can play on dirt. You can just put up some poles.
Do kids do it anymore? I don't see it as much. Like when I was a kid, right, Sam? I used to fill up a bottle of water, go down to the local field with a bashed up football. I'd meet other people there, not necessarily my friends, just load up it. We'd end up having a massive 11-on-11 football game. And playing for hours and hours. I'd only come home for lunch quickly, come back out again. My summer was like that.
Yeah, I think generally, at least in the United States, and for knows, a lot of kids don't play outside very much anymore. I think that's just, they don't ride bikes anymore. It's kind of just, it's shifted a little bit. There's a lot more, entertainment and technology inside now. And I just don't, you don't see it. When I was a kid, it was the same thing. You go down to the local park, there'd be a basketball hoop, there'd be a lot of 3-on-3, there'd be a lot of backyard, not backyard basketball, what do they call it? Playground, like just playground basketball, right? It's huge. That's where that 3-on-3 basketball event came from, right? That's just, in a local park, huge in New York, Rucker Park, that kind of stuff, basketball. And same thing with, and then when I was a kid, we just played anything, right? We played football, we would play wiffle ball.
We used to play this game called Kirby, Sam, right? In the road.
Yeah, you have to curb.
So, you just throw it at the curb, and then if you hit the curb, you then go into the middle.
Yeah,
and that was great fun, Kirby. I don't know what other people called it.
Yeah, and then like I said, that's what it was. And then you basically came inside when the lights came on, right? That was your time to come inside.
Or dinner. You got hungry.
Or mom said you got to come home because it's dinner time, right? So again, and just generally it's just changed. And even trick or treating, like kids don't really do that anymore. It's like they have these events like trunk or treat, or they'll have what's called trunk or treat, where they're all these people will put cars and they'll have the little chairs and they'll open up their trunks or whatever, open the backs, and they'll have candy and kids can go. And it's just, I don't know.
Pedos.
Yeah, no, it's just the way I think parents just they found ways to kind of, I don't know. I really just remember it, and it's not been long.
Moves at the times.
When I first lived in that house when I was with my ex-wife and when Anna was little, when I first moved to the neighborhood, almost every house during on the Halloween night was on. Maybe 7 of 10, 6 of 10 before, I mean, I drove through one, and it was a huge deal. Like when I was a kid, I didn't trick or treat in my neighborhood. We actually drove to where where the more affluent people lived. There was a really nice subdivision kind of near my house. My mom and I would take me the car, and she'd drop me off in that neighborhood. And she wouldn't go with me. She would drop me off, and then she'd go back home or whatever. Or she said, I'll come back in an hour and a half or whatever, pick you up, and I would just walk around and trick or treat. But that isn't a thing anymore. It's not, not that I've seen. No. That's definitely kind of so kids playing sport in outside is kind of
now they play sport for hours in their bedroom,
right,
with their friends online.
Yeah, with a headset, or they're playing Fortnite, or they're wearing a Meta Quest or whatever. Yeah, I mean that's just, and they're on their phones, and that's just the way it is now. I mean that's the way it is, at least around here, and it's kind of sad. I mean, I
pros and cons, right? Pros and cons. I feel like I want Saoirse to have a mix of technology and going outside, enjoying the outside.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, Manos is back.
Yeah, hey guys.
Form.
Yes.
Sorry, as you left, I've described you as the professor now. You know the heist.
Yes, I've never seen it, but I know about it.
Has anyone ever said that to you before?
Actually, yes, especially with my previous sets of glasses. They used to be almost exactly the same as the professor's. So yeah, I got it a lot because of the beard, the hair. Yeah, I've heard it a lot, especially during COVID. It's like every other girl on Tinder, they were like, "Oh yeah, well, about the professor." Well, okay, he's like, "Okay, cool."
I think I might start calling you the professor.
And you notice how he mentioned Tinder? That was kind of funny. I like that.
Yeah. See, I never experienced that, Sam, and you probably as well. None of these apps.
Hell no.
Oh, you missed out.
I cannot imagine how that would go. I just I don't have any idea. I can't. I'm so glad I kind of missed that. It sounds.
I can share my experience if you want. It's I don't know. It's a roller coaster for sure. Sometimes you feel like you're on top of the world. Or some other times you feel like I don't know, like the ugliest person ever. Yeah. It comes and goes.
Imagine.
Look, for me, the hardest and harshest thing that I've ever faced was being rejected for my height. And it happened, unfortunately, several times.
Really?
Where the girls, the girls, the moment they would realize, they would ask me that, how tall I am, and I would say, I'm not 6 feet tall. I'm barely like 5'8". They would be like, yeah, okay, sorry, not interested, bye.
So, Manos, the professor, there's an opportunity there. You say, look, we're all the same height lying down.
Yeah.
So
that's a winner, that one. I'll let you have that one.
Well,
definitely.
I don't. I guess I understand the height thing. I don't know why it's all of a sudden. Why is that always been a big deal? Because I don't think that's.
Yeah, women like tall men, don't they? They tend to.
I guess, but now, I mean, I don't remember that ever. Maybe that because of social media now people talk about it more, but I just don't remember
Possibly.
I just remember when the only thing I always noticed was when there was a height disparity between like if the woman was taller than the man. That was something that you kind of looked and you're like, but I never was. I asked. I have one of my friends. She's taller than her husband by a pretty good amount, by about 3-4 inches. And I asked her. I said, "Has there ever been a problem?" And she's like, "I don't care." He's never seemed to care. But yeah, I mean, they're still married, and they've been married.
I just want to say as well, Sam, 3-4 inches is a lot. It's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
what she said.
Yeah. Oh, so anyway, that's just one of those things. Yeah, it's like, well, apparently it's all this stuff right now. So I just, I guess I'm just glad I'm glad it never had to kind of
do women go, what phone do you use? Probably in the US they do, right?
Oh, in the US for sure.
Yeah.
In the UK they couldn't, or in any other country they couldn't care less.
Yeah, right. Do you reckon people put it in their bio, iPhone user?
Right.
No, or no Android users allowed.
Right.
Yeah, I bet you. Yeah.
Green bubbles do not apply. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, don't say bubbles, because that's another thing for Greek. We call bubbles.
Oh,
Have you heard that one before, Manos? You must have.
No,
Right?
I haven't actually. No, what is this?
Bubble and Squeak Greek.
No, never heard of this before. What is
Never
it?
heard that. Oh, that's what you call
No,
Greek people. Bubbles. Bubble and Squeak Greek.
no
It's an
idea.
old.
This is literally new to me.
Oh, mate. Oh, you learnt something new.
right.
It's old school. I don't think many people say it nowadays. It's like whistle and flute. Soup.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an old. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'm. Yeah. So I'm glad I kind of ducked it because I don't think I would do well on Tinder.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It depends on the country. I've used it in Russia back in 2015. And I was very successful in Russia. I don't know. In Russia must be, I don't know, a god or something.
He was exotic, mate. That's why he was exotic goods.
Yeah, it must have been because I had 150 matches in about a week's time. And I was like, what's happening? Yeah, in the UK or any other place, normally would be, I don't know.
The question, Manos, is why did you leave Russia?
Well, I can name many reasons why.
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, I don't know if you're paying attention to what's been going on in the Russian Empire Federation last couple of years,
I didn't think that question through.
Yeah.
But,
and definitely, I might be okay as far as getting Tinder dates, but I got the wrong passport, man. I don't think I'm going to be floating around. I don't want to be floating around the Russian Federation anytime soon because it's not good to be an American anywhere on Earth. It seems like. But definitely not in Russia, which is a shame because I would like to go. I'd like to visit. Moscow and see Red Square.
It was beautiful. Yeah, Moscow. Yeah. I loved it. Like the Kremlin, the Red Square, all that. It was great.
Yeah, it's like all those places I'd like to see those. It's a shame every like I said on other shows, everywhere I'd like to visit is having a current war going on. Between. The Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, and then I'd like to go see Moscow and Red Square, and then the Forbidden in China, Beijing. I'd love to see those places. It'd be kind of awesome to visit, but not on an American passport. That's probably not a good idea.
Oh, well, one day,
maybe one day. I don't know.
Let's hope so, mate. Let's hope so.
Yeah.
So what can we talk about next? I forgot. I had something in my head. It's just gone. I hate when that happens. Does that happen to you, Sam?
Yeah.
Is that part getting old?
Yeah.
Did you have any more questions about?
Yeah, I did actually. So what else did you do? So you went to the stadium to watch the game. What did you do after that? Did you have some time to do?
So I went to the stadium, but before that, the day before, we had like a content competition. It just gave us a brief to do some challenges and create a story that it would showcase features from the phones or AI, whatever. It was a long list of things. And we were split in 4 groups. I was in the group with a Brazilian guy and German guy, Jacqueline, and that guy with 1.5 million followers, which I forget his name, but he was a cool guy. And then we just had to go around San Diego and take pictures and mostly video of landmarks and try to incorporate all these challenges. And it was quite fun. It was definitely, interesting to me to see how people who do content creation for a living, how they think and how they conceptualize these type of things. So definitely was an eye-opening.
And how natural they are,
how natural they are, but that's for sure. Yeah, not that I had any issues myself. To be fair, I feel more comfortable than before. But definitely, I'm nowhere near the level, right? Because if I was, I would be doing the same. But also, what
Nothing
they made
you, mate. Nothing stopping you.
That's true. But what made me realize is, by talking with them, there's way more than meets the eye. Like there are people behind them that, they help them and support them in many ways that we don't even know. So definitely it's, but it was great working with them. And unfortunately my team didn't win. Another team won, and what they won was a Samsung laptop with the X Elite inside.
Oh, nice! Each one of them.
Each one of them, yes, they all won an X Elite Samsung laptop. So lucky them.
He's gutted.
Yeah, we were not jealous at all, at all. But to be fair, every other team I would say was better than ours. I'm not gonna deny that. Especially the team that Miles was part of, and some other
Yeah.
guys from New York. Their idea was just brilliant. I loved it. Their idea was they they made it like Grand Theft Auto themed, and the
Okay.
way they were walking and jumping and showcasing everything, it was as if they were playing Grand Theft Auto, and they were using, because I don't know if you guys have played the game,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
yeah,
you can use a smartphone inside that game. So they were showcasing the features as if it was a mission in Grand Theft Auto. So I
yeah,
found
yeah.
that very creative and super entertaining.
No, no
But
doubt
their
Snapdragon will
team
share some of
came.
this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because they even asked us,
Yeah.
to add the logos and things like this. So it was
Hmm.
super entertaining. I loved it. I was actually surprised that they didn't win. But I would say that the team that won did an even better job because they actually showcase almost every single feature in a very smart and creative way. They actually
Hmm.
had a very similar approach in their story to my teams. So it was like a time traveler of some sort where they try to get out of a loop. And save the world at the same time. And they were showing, the magic eraser, but in reverse. So they were like
Hmm.
solving puzzles. And I
Okay.
don't know, I just, love their enthusiasm and the way they did it. So I think they just, they deserved it. They were very cool.
My next question though,
Uh,
Manos, who
yeah.
was to blame for the loss? Um, the Brazilian guy, yourself, Jacqueline.
I don't want to point fingers. I'm not going to point
Oh,
fingers. I'm
good
going to remain
answer. Good answer.
Switzerland in this. Yeah, I can chat you about it if you want,
Yeah,
privately.
I look forward to that.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's good. I'm glad that you had
Yeah.
those experiences. That was really pretty cool. Like I said, Joe had go to Hawaii was nice, and then got the two events. That's really cool, man. I really and it's based on, like you said earlier. You saw Joe go, and you're kind of jealous, but it kind of was motivation. Like, hey, if I
Mhm.
can participate, if I can content create and kind of get in there,
Yeah.
and you can see that it does pay off. Like sometimes you can do the
It
work.
does. It does. And I couldn't even believe it, honestly, because I feel, when I started, I was, and not that now I'm anything bigger than what I was when I started, but when I started, I was not really putting out almost anything out there. I was, using iPhone, I was using Pixel, using Samsung. I was not consistent, and also my photography was all over the place. But I picked my niche. I just stuck with it. I kept going and going and going and posting. And
Mm.
yeah, eventually it just paid off just by being resilient and consistent and enjoying the ride. Because at no point whatsoever did I feel entitled or deserving of being invited just because I post few pictures now and then.
Right.
A few's an
Um,
understatement, mate. Come on, you
yeah,
post daily. Come on.
I
yeah,
mean,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. I mean,
okay. I overdid it. Yeah,
well, I think that just shows that you have to, that I think these companies have to. I think that's a lot of what they see. It's not necessarily raw talent. It's the fact that you're willing to create content and be in that space and continue to plug through even on days where you're busy. They realize you have probably a regular life, that you have other things going on, and that you're still willing to do all this stuff. One, because you enjoy it, but two is because that they want to see that, nothing. Who cares if you have a lot of talent? You could be the best football in the world, but if you decided to play golf, nobody ever
yeah,
knows you're the best
Yeah,
football,
yeah.
right? You got to do the thing, and I think that's a lot of why they pick individuals. They have a nice
Yeah.
spread. People who are obviously with very large channels and very large, but then also people who are just willing to show up every day and do the photography, even if it's not as perfect as somebody who's maybe is a professional photographer. The fact that you're creating content and doing the work and have a passion for it, that's what they want. They want that because that's what's going to resonate to regular people. Most people aren't professional photographers. They're just folks like me and you trying to use a smartphone.
you make a very good point. Yeah, that's very true. Because I think I'm the prime example of an amateur who just enjoyed tech and just took a chance of spending some time learning, experimenting, just trying things, trying to use the tools that they're available to us. Because at the end of the day, we pay a lot of money in order to get the expensive devices.
Yep.
And what do we normally do with them? We just play some phone calls, we scroll social media, and that's pretty much it.
Mm.
So I feel at least I have I have tried to maximize the use of the device. I'm not saying that I have, done everything that it can offer me, but I'm trying to at least to my, ability, to do as much as I can. And I still have a lot to grow. Like I'm still watching YouTube videos to learn more about photography, composition, colors, light, you name it. I still see myself as a very amateur and, still at my very first baby steps. I have only scratched the surface.
The key thing for me is what you're doing, posting daily and taking your pictures, doing even the edits on device. You're inspiring people to grab their phone and go out and take pictures. And that's what the brands are seeing. You're inspiring people to do more with their phones. And that's a brilliant thing. It's brilliant. That's why we talk about tech all the time. We want to inspire people to do with more with their tech. Right, Sam?
Yeah, absolutely. The whole point of this really podcast.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. I really never thought about that, that way.
That's what you're doing, mate. Yeah. Honestly, you probably don't think of it, but from the outside, that's what people do when they post their pictures. I think, wow, I want to go out and take pictures now.
Yeah. And I think this is how it started for me as well, like seeing Chad or Fahim. Like there's so many people, so many talented people out there in the Snapdragon Insiders community. And I remember, seeing the challenges every month. And I was like, wow, these people create such amazing pictures. Like I would like to do that myself. So in a way, I was inspired by others like me. And this is how I guess I was created, if you want to call it like that.
Yeah.
And if I can be, I know I'm going to sound, I don't know, poetic, a beacon of hope and inspiration for someone else, to just take the device and, just use it beyond just, social media and YouTube, then yes, of course, by all means, that would be amazing.
That's all you gotta do. Just put in the work, and good things will happen. So, again, so we're at time. So we want to again thank you so much for not only coming on, but then still joining us in an audio format in trying to drive around. So, and we're excited to see what you can do, and we're fans of your work, and we would hope to have you on again soon. Talk about more because we got some devices coming up, and I'm sure it won't just be a photography angle. There'll be some other devices coming out that may the pixels and stuff that's coming out, and we're looking forward to always these good chats with you.
Perfect.
We really appreciate you taking time.
Manos, quickly plug your Twix and Instagram so the people know where to find you.
Since I am only on the app now, I cannot see on YouTube. So if you can service for me, I would deeply appreciate it. If you can, it's fine.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes, but this does go out in audio form as well. I thought you'd know your handles, mate. Come on.
Okay. On X, it's orange_scooter, and on Instagram is MF_OS. So that's it. But I'm mostly active on X, to be fair. On Instagram, so.
Twix is I think the place to find you, mate. Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's it. Perfect.
All right. So again, well, thank you very much. And Joe, any parting words before we head out for the day?
Yep, I'm looking forward to my Vivo X100 Ultra.
There you go.
Can't wait, mate.
And also, maybe if you're lucky, you can skin your shit and see if you can get X-Screen soon. Got to UK. Make sure you get in and check out their stuff. They got a good selection of things, and skin your stuff. And
send your shit. Yep.
And then also do like Manos says, smile more, laugh more, be a good human, don't be a dick, and try to enjoy your tech. And and also be excellent to each other. And we will see you next Sunday on the Nomad Tech Project with Sam and Joe. Up for Manos, for Joe. Take care.
Yeah.
Have a good week.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Always, man.
The Professor.